Is your environment too small? Are you not growing because you're around the wrong people, around the wrong places? Keep watching because we're just going to get into it real talk. But before we start, just subscribe to the channel. Now let's get it started. Sometimes you don't lack the talent, you lack the correct environment that you want to be in or that you should be in to grow. So I moved to San Diego in 2016 from Virginia, and I really wanted to get into fitness at that time. I started an online training company in Virginia, but then when I got to San Diego, I was like, oh man, it's easier to grow this business here. Why? Because it's nice all year round. I was in the right environment, and then I was around the right people because people wanted to be fit. You know, it's 75 degrees and sunny basically all year round. So people want to be at the beach. They want to be outside. And I realized that, business started booming because I was in the right environment and I was around the right people. So I was able to market to people because they're like, hey, we're outside. We want to look good with our shirt off. We want to be fit. We want to be functional. And it was so much easier to grow the business. The other thing too, from a wrong people standpoint is, prior to moving there, sometimes moving there too, but prior to moving there, living in Northern Virginia, it was a very kind of, you check the boxes and you do the thing space, right? And I was like, I just want to move to San Diego and I want to be an entrepreneur. And that was not looked at in such a bright light because, in Northern Virginia where I grew up, it was go to high school, go to college, get your degree, be a consultant somewhere, get married, buy a house, have a child. It's like that very linear thing. And so mine was like, I just want to move across the country and start my own business and I don't want to work for anybody. So after having a college education, you could see how that would land with specific people. Thank God, like my parents were like, yo, go and do. But I learned at an early age to just like, not worry about other people's opinions. And so when I say wrong people, sometimes you want to do things and because it might feel limiting to others, they're going to put their limits on you, but it's not limiting to you because you think that you can do it. So if you're around those wrong people over time, you're going to start believing that. So you want to be around the right people. Now, how do you do that and how can you get there? The first thing is you want to act more and talk less. Now, why I say this is I used to be someone who I would just talk my plans all the time before I would ever do anything. And when I talk my plans all the time, it would give like fodder for people to just like tear it down of like why you can't do it or why that doesn't work or all of the negative reasons of basically trying to get me to not do the thing. And those people have never even done the thing and they might sit and actually want to do the thing, but they're insecure about the thing, whatever it is. But I started acting more and talking less. Now, I don't really talk about my plans. And if I do, I'm already deep into the acting phase of it that by the time I talk about it, if you are negative towards it or you just don't believe in it, I'm not really going to worry about it because I'm already in the process of learning and growing. And after you do this for a certain amount of time, you get more confident because you're like, I'm not worried about the failure. I'm not worried about the opinions because I'm comfortable with me. You'll get there. So act more, talk less. Acting always builds confidence. Overthinking doesn't build confidence. Talking out what you're going to do doesn't build confidence. Acting always builds confidence. Number 2, get in rooms that stretch you. Now, rooms that stretch you could just be around people that push you to get better because of who they are and because of what they do. Now, for me, this is not like entrepreneurial or whatever, but it's like I've always wanted to get better at running. And so when I run with my brother, he's a better runner than me. And every time I run with him, I learn something new and I push myself harder because I'm like, oh, this person's better. And so I am stretched because of it. So anytime I get a chance to run with him, I'm like, oh, that's great because I'm in an area that stretches me. I'm around the right person in the right place doing the right thing. That's going to make me a better person. Now, if it were flipped and I'm saying, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to be out on these runs with somebody who's slower, who doesn't really want to do it and doesn't have a space that's conducive to running. Now I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be frustrated. I'm going to be like, I'm not growing. And now all of this area that I want to be better at, I'm with someone who is bringing me back and I'm not getting any better. So what you want to do is you want to get in rooms that stretch you and get in rooms that make you feel like an imposter. And imposter syndrome is something where it's like, I talk about it in other videos, how to get over it and everything, but you want to get in rooms where you're like, oh, how did I get here? And do I feel like I'm like even enough to be here? And one, you are enough to be there, but it makes you step your game up. And whenever you're challenged to step your game up and you do that time and time again, ultimately your game is stepped up. So get in rooms that stretch you. Number 3, change your inputs. Your inputs determine outputs. I've worked in tech full time. Your inputs will always determine your outputs. Now, what are you inputting? I say the biggest thing is content because, it doesn't matter if it's fitness. It doesn't matter if it's entrepreneurship. It doesn't matter if it's relationship. We are always looking at our phones. We're always looking at TV. We're looking at some sort of content and entertainment when we're not working or or we're not around family, whatever. So audit what you are inputting, because the content that you're intaking might be something that is not helpful. And also input is the voices that you're hearing. Basically anything audible, visual that you are intaking that is basically changing how you move and how you operate and how you kind of process and work through life, those are your inputs. So if you're getting the wrong inputs, you're going to get the wrong output. Think of it from just like a nutrition standpoint, just from like an easy imagery standpoint. If you're inputting a crazy amount of calories into your body, you're never going to output a fit, shredded body. If you're like, oh, I'm going to eat 20,000 calories a day, that's probably not going to output, a very energetic, functional, driven human being. You're probably going to be slow, lethargic, and overweight, right? So making sure that you are changing your inputs. And for me, a lot of time it's content. I know when my mood changes for a negative based on the type of content that I watch. And I notice when my mood changes for the positive, I feel more aspirational. I feel more motivated. I feel more like, oh, I can do this and I want to do something with my life. And I want to, go even further than where I'm at now. It's based on what I'm inputting and intaking. So making sure that you're changing your input so you can have a better output. Now, the fourth thing is create a solid routine and stick to it. So routines, they end up being habits, and the more habits that you create, the easier and more automatic the good things happen. And so when it comes to, wrong places and wrong people, like I've been in the habit of putting myself in the right places with the right people because I've in the past had the bad habit of doing the opposite thing, right? And so when you are creating and sticking to a solid routine, some of your routine is like, I'm just not going to be here. I'm just not going to be looking at this type of content. I'm not going to be speaking to these people. I'm not going to put myself in these places, right? And that's a part of your routine. And over time, the new habits and the new ways that you do things, they get ingrained. I talk about this, but in 2022, Carly and I went to couples therapy and everything and couples counseling before we moved to Texas, right? Big move on the way, bought a house together. And then also, like I've talked about, I was really going through it mentally at that time. So building new neural pathways is such an important thing. And so if you've been going down a direction so much, you've had bad habit after bad habit, wrong people, wrong content, everything, what happens is it makes that path easier every single time you go to it. Now, building a new neural pathway is tough because it's like you're paving a new area in the woods. Like you got to have a saw, a hatchet, or whatever. You got to just be like knocking down everything to try to get in and pave a new way. But the minute that you pave a new way and you're focused on paving a new way, you're going to see that path open up. And what happens is there's going to be growth in the other path, and it's going to be weeds and everything. And that other path is going to be so much harder to then go down because you're not paving it every day. And so what happens is that connection to the old, it goes away because new growth happens there. So you're not walking down that way, but the connection to the new is now paved because you're focused that way. So create a solid routine and stick to it. That's the new path. Again, if you're in the wrong place and the wrong people and you're trying to grow, it's not that you're not talented enough. It's not that you're lacking anything. Sometimes you're just in the wrong place with the wrong people. How do you get to the right place with the wrong people so you can be more confident, be better, and move in the right direction? Number one, act more, talk less. Don't tell everybody about all the things that you're doing and give them fodder to knock you down. No, act first, get comfortable with it, then cool, talk about it. Second thing is get in rooms that stretch you. Be around people who make you feel like an imposter because it steps your game up, because it makes you work harder, it makes you get better. Number three, change your inputs. Your inputs determine your outputs. If you are expecting a certain output, you have to look at your inputs. If you're expecting to be fitter, you have to look at what you're inputting in your body. If you're expecting a better relationship, you have to look at how you are showing up to your relationship every day. If you're expecting a better career, you have to look at how you're inputting your energy when you show up to your first meetings and when you show up to all the things that happen in your day. Your inputs will determine your outputs. Number four, create a solid routine and stick to it. Create a new path. That's it. That's it for the video. I'll see you all next time. Appreciate you watching.